I was very proud of our players today. I really thought that defensively they really gutted it out. I thought the first half, at halftime I really challenged our intensity. I thought we were playing very methodical, not inspired, but I really applaud our team the second half. I think they came out with something to prove. I had reminded them that 8 points was really not a big deal. If we chipped away at it little by little, we could overcome that. And they just found a way. I thought they played great defense. We really challenged them to play without much help defensively, and they really got down in a stance and defended, and probably the best that we have all season. And then turned around and with only 2 referees checked out like crazy because there wasn't another referee to see some of the fouls. It's the first time I've coached a game where we finished with 2 referees, but since probably high school. But I'm very, very proud of our players. Lucretia Smith, I thought, had one of her best games to date. 15 boards, 13 points. We needed her to have that many rebounds. And Yolanda Richardson, I thought, did a really nice job changing some shots of theirs, altering them, getting some rebounds. And then Angela Dortch getting to the free throw line, attacking the basket, making some good decisions. And then, Haley hit such a big shot. That was a dagger toward the end. Very, very proud of the whole team's effort. And second half, I think probably the difference, besides the defense, was we just moved the ball a lot better. First half, we were very stagnant. We weren't moving the ball. We weren't sealing. And the second half, we moved with purpose. And we had a lot better tempo to our offense.
So you talk about challenging play defense without a lot of help, but you were helping a lot again on 23.
Well, she's the one person we had to help on. She's a fantastic freshman. I can't say enough good things about her, Crystal Bradford. But I really thought when we needed to lock down on her toward the last few minutes, we did. She didn't get a lot of good looks then. And there were certain kids we were going to help a little bit off of, and other ones we weren't. Obviously, if they had a knockdown shooter in the corner, they weren't coming off her. But when we needed to really lock down and sit in a stance and not give her a layup, we did. And our one-on-one defense, I thought Angela Dortch, though, the 2 charges she took were outstanding. But that was Angela making a good decision, helping off kids that she was able to help off of.
Tricia, will you talk a little bit about the offense, especially first half, first 5 minutes of the second half, the turnovers, and especially, it didn't look like they were pressure turnovers as much as careless with the ball turnovers.
Again, we weren't cutting hard, we weren't zipping the ball. As I said before, the tempo. And you can't get lazy around a team that's long and lanky and athletic in certain positions because, they're going to alter some passes, they're going to deflect some, and then they're off to the races. But I thought the second half we adapted to their length, to their athleticism a lot better, and we did a much better job of executing what we wanted to do offensively and reading the double teams. Obviously, Yolanda Richardson was seeing some double teams, and when that happened, I thought we were looking for the open person a little bit better than we did the first half. And again, you're not going to see that as much if you're moving the ball snail pace. But the second half, moved the ball much better. Tempo was exactly what we had worked on. That was the zone offense that we saw against Northwestern. First half, I don't know who that was. But we're going to get better.
I know Central is one of the teams you identified as a contender in the conference. So what does it mean to you guys to be able to pull this one out against them?
Well, at this point, yes, they're a contender, and I do have an awful lot of respect for their program, but we got to get any win we can get. We dropped one that we shouldn't have lost last week, or a few days ago, and that one hurt. But I think also it was a good reminder that you've got to show up every night in our league, because when you don't, you will be reminded. Eastern dropped one to Ball State. I'm sure that Coach Gilbert's saying the same thing. You have to show up every night in our league. Miami got taken to double overtime. It was either single or double overtime to Akron. There are some great games going on in our league. And, I watched a little bit of the BG game on TV yesterday. That one went down to the wire. If you don't show up in our league, you'll be reminded very, very quickly that you should have. So we're not going to take anything for granted. I don't think we should value more one team over another. We just got to go keep showing up and have the intensity that we did today in the second half.
Sometimes you coach your you-know-what off and it doesn't work, but late in the second half there was a lot of offense, defense, and substitutions, 2 players in particular.
Mm-hmm.
How much did you see that helping? At the end, the girl from Spain forces the turnover at one end, you sub, Haley hits the 3 at the other end. Had you seen it earlier in the game, that kind of productivity out of that, or was that?
Well, one reason that we signed Enma is her fantastic defensive ability. I mean, she can guard about any position. She's strong enough to guard a post. She's quick enough laterally to guard any position. And she really helps us. And when you've got a team that's running the dribble drive offense, which is what you see Memphis and Kentucky running, you know, you've got to do such a good job laterally, and we felt it was a misfortune to have her on the bench. Now, offensively, she's still learning some things, and so obviously to get a senior in on offense, plus it gave Haley some legs, so I do agree with what you're saying. You know, being able to rest Haley, have fresh legs at the end to hit that shot, of course it helped. But I thought both of them, I thought the great thing was neither hung their head because they weren't in at the other end. They were both cheering each other on and ready for the next play, and, you know, that's what we need.
On that three from Haley, she was 1 of 7 for threes before hitting that. So were you a little, did you cringe a little seeing her pull up for that, or were you happy to see it?
No, she was wide open. She's a senior. You know, the percentages you can't worry about. And to be honest, you know, last few games she's struggled shooting the ball. She'll come out of it. She spends an awful lot of time in the gym. I think if there's anything that a player can ever hear from me, a reason I'm going to choose some tail is that they're not giving me effort, they're not playing defense, and they're not boxing out. The shots will come. And just like tonight, you know, we didn't shoot great percentage, but we played great defense and we rebounded, and that's why we won. We continue to do that, we're going to win a lot of ball games. All right. Thanks, guys.